Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL with my good friend, The Undertaker, Andrew Erickson. We're here to look ahead to see if there's any value at all in early Week 9 odds. We found some good value last week, too. There's definitely a lot there, so hopefully we're going to pick this schedule apart and find some other good ones. Certainly a lot of weirdness yesterday, as there always is in the NFL season. What surprised you the most, Andrew Erickson? Was it the Miami Dolphins taking it to the Falcons? Was it the Jets getting their first victory? Or was it something else in Week 8 that had you, I don't know, tickled your fancy, so to speak?
No, I think the biggest shock was definitely the Dolphins-Falcons game. I had some reservations about Jets-Bengals. I thought that line was a little weird. I didn't touch it, but I did not like laying the points in Cincinnati, even at home. I just thought, I don't like this spot for Flacco, favored by so much after a primetime spot. And they should have won that game. But, ultimately the Jets came back. Bengals defense is just so bad. It's just absolutely atrocious. I don't think it even matters if Joe Burrow comes. It's like, dude, this defense can't stop anybody. And they're asking Jamar Chase after the game, as an offensive leader, how do you get someone to step on the defense? He's like, guys, I play offense. What do you want? What do you want?
He should play defense. Although, didn't he lead the team in tackles a couple times?
He was at one point. He had more tackles than Micah Parsons at one point. So that was
right,
really
that's what it was. That was the stat that we had.
I think the Falcons-Dolphins game is like a reminder. We talked about it on the Betting Pros live stream before lock at 12:30 with myself and Matt Peralt, talking about how, when you're really heavily betting on one team just because of their opponent and not because you actually like the team that you're betting on, that was why I did have no action on Falcons-Dolphins, because I look at, I think the Dolphins offense can score, especially inside a dome. We saw the Falcons get destroyed by the run 1 week ago without Devon Diablo as their linebacker. He missed again. They had more injuries. And if you just zoom out, why should you be laying a touchdown with a team that's missing their starting quarterback and best wide receiver? Right? If you just zoom out and just don't think about what the Dolphins, and then just, I don't know how the Falcons couldn't run the ball. It just, against this terrible Miami Dolphins run defense, Bijan Robinson could just not get going. He was the biggest DFS bust chalk in the history of DFS without an injury.
Sure was. Yeah.
Just absolutely bonkers. So that was definitely the biggest surprise for me, was just the Falcons' inability to run the football. Although Tyler Algier did find a way to find the end zone in garbage time.
Gross. Don't remind me. All right, let's get ahead. Let's wipe it all away here. Let's talk about Baltimore and Miami this week on Thursday Night Football. We think Lamar Jackson this time. That's what we've been told, but we thought it was going to be last week, because we'll see. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens on the road in Miami are favored by 7. The best number on Betting Pros you can find on the consensus line is plus 8.5, then 49.5 for the over, 50.5 for the under, plus 317 for the upset here with Miami. So, look, they got back to running the football. Huntley was good. If they end up having to pivot to Huntley again, I think it'll be fine. So here you go. Let's talk about this one here. Do you see any early value in Thursday night?
I think it's probably just on the Dolphins, to be honest, if you're just hoping that it does a Lamar play or not, because they can say all they want. He was with scout team after the bye week, and he didn't practice, and now he has a short week. So I think that the process was right last week, taking the Bears plus 6.5. The line had ultimately moved, and you got CLV. Obviously, it didn't work out because the Bears still lost by more than 2.5 points. So that sucks. But I think process-wise, make Lamar prove that he's actually playing before you lay the points with the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
That's fair. So we'll definitely check that one. Of course, Thursday Night Football Show will be here too for you on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, trying to get the 100,000. Let's get to Carolina, Green Bay. So Carolina Panthers are now 4-4 after that big loss to the Buffalo Bills. Green Bay Packers 5-1-1. Really, second half took off for them. Tucker Kraft. I got to give you credit, Andrew. You were the biggest Tucker Kraft guy I knew in the offseason. And you are 100% right. It's been his breakout season. He's been terrific. They are 11.5 point favorites at home against Carolina. That's a big number here. Plus 12.5 is the best number you're getting on Carolina. You got the over at 43.5, the under at 44.5, plus 550 on the money line for the upset here with the Panthers. But 12 is a lot of points here, Andrew. 12.5 specifically. I'm kind of leaning early on here to the Carolina side, despite the fact that Green Bay looked terrific. I just think that's a lot of points at this stage, too. It gives me some outs there with garbage time. That's my thought process on this one. But look, Packers, great road warrior, 2 weeks in a row. Finding a way to win in the second half of both those games. Certainly, I think a character building exercise for this football team for sure. Beating Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure a little bit of fun there for the Packers guys there, for the head coach and for the quarterback as well. But what's your take on this Green Bay Carolina line?
I have one rule when it comes to the Panthers. I don't bet on them when they're on the road. You don't touch the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton could be the starting quarterback again. He can't move. The guy can't move inside the pocket. He is showing all of his age, and Bryce Young has a high ankle sprain. So even if he comes back, how mobile is he against that Green Bay pass rush led by Micah Parsons? Like that
That's
is,
fair.
I am terrified of betting on the Panthers. So I actually think that Green Bay, even though it is a lot of points, I'm comfortable laying this amount of points with Green Bay because I think that this win over the Steelers was kind of, when did it all change for Green Bay as they made their playoff run? I think it's going to be, we're going to look back at this Steelers game, like that's when Green Bay started to get hot, both on defense and on offense in that second half against Pittsburgh. We know the last couple of weeks it's been kind of, inconsistency. They look good, but then they kind of lay down a little bit to some inferior opponents. They stepped up big time against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. I think this is where you start to see them start to roll inferior opponents. And I think the Carolina Panthers, after getting absolutely destroyed by Buffalo, James Cook is still
Oh
rushing
yeah.
for more running yards. I think Josh Jacobs
Ugh.
smashes here. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the Packers here.
I will say this: if it's Andy Dalton again, I'm fine with the 12.5. If you do get Bryce Young, it's a weird because it's high ankle, but he's a quarterback, so it's very tricky sometimes. Sometimes these guys push through. So if it's not that I feel great about Bryce Young either, but if it's Andy Dalton, then the 11.5, sure, lock that up. Next up here, Detroit at home against Minnesota Vikings. We'll see if JJ McCarthy's under center for this game. So let's see if there's any early value we can glean from this. Plus 9.5 here for Minnesota, minus 8.5 for Detroit, 47.5 for the over, 48.5 for the under, plus 403 for the Minnesota Vikings, who look, they were not prepared. They got their butt kicked in an out of conference game on a short week on Thursday night. And they look like, Carson Wentz looks like he never wants to go on a football field again. He was in so much pain at the end of that game. If JJ McCarthy's ready or not, it doesn't matter. It feels like all systems go here. Maybe he gives them a jolt, Andrew, but defensively, they haven't done enough. Offensively, haven't done enough. They admitted, Kevin O'Connell said, we didn't come to play. And that's a problem. I don't know if they were just looking ahead on the schedule to this game, but in a lot of ways, this is their season. They're going to be 3-5 if they lose this game, and another loss to an in-division opponent. That's not good. So where do you want to land here on this one? Is it just a simple over as it always is in Detroit at 47.5?
I think so. I think that's the play for me. The lines feel pretty big, especially 8.5, 9.5 points in a division game. The Minnesota Vikings obviously licking their wounds after getting, truck sticked by Kamani Vidal and the Los Angeles Chargers and Artie Gadsden. Just they couldn't stop anything. And you think, oh, Vikings, extra time, coming off a Thursday night game. Well, the Lions are coming off a bye week, so there's no rest advantage there. If anything, the Lions are going to be even more well rested. So they're probably locked to put up 30. Brian Flores' defense this year has just been so boom or bust, right? There are some games where it looks like it's lights out. There are other games where they're just getting absolutely eviscerated. When you're a blitz heavy defense, sometimes it works and sometimes you get absolutely burned on the back end. So their defense has been getting up a lot of points. I think we just see points in this game. And I think the Vikings are, fingers crossed, that they do get JJ McCarthy and they get the good version of JJ McCarthy. Though we have not seen that much of him.
I was gonna say we've only seen one quarter of it so far. Really,
that may all we need to have the total go over the points. So
yeah, that's fair enough. All right, next game we have up here for Week 9 in the NFL: Chicago 4-3, Cincinnati 3-5. Terrible loss at home for them to the New York Jets. A game that you just can't lose. But that defense is just so bad. Caleb Williams also, fourth quarter in that game, throwing that bad pick there in his own territory. Just horrible. Just gives the game away there. So just bad job by Caleb Williams. Now, regardless, they are still favorites in this game, which again makes me uncomfortable. On the road, 1.5, minus 1.5 you're getting on Chicago. Cincinnati at home, underdogs plus 2.5 after embarrassing loss to the Jets. The total for this game, over 41.5, under 52.5, minus 120 on the money line for Chicago, plus 112 for the Bengals. I kind of want to just blindly bet the Bengals here where there's value after that terrible Jets loss there at home. The defense is awful. We know that, but Caleb Williams makes mistakes, and I don't know. I think I'll just take the plus money on the money line here and be done with it. That's where I'm at. Just Bengals for the victory here, bouncing back after a bad loss this past week. What do you think?
Why are the Bengals not favorites?
I don't know. I think this line is wrong. I
agree.
I just flat out wrong. A couple weeks ago, I pointed out that Charger Colts line was just wrong.
Yeah.
That the Colts weren't favored in that game just because it was on the road. I was like, why? Have we watched the Chargers play and the Colts play? Colts look really good. And they're 7-1 now? The Colts, come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, when I was handicapping this game for our projections, I had the Bengals listed as, what did I have them at? 3-point favorites playing at home against. I mean, yeah, the
That
Bengals
feels more
defense
right
is
to me.
terrible. So is the Bears defense. Did you give 30 points to Tyler Huntley?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I think that offensively, Joe Flacco has shown that, hey, this Bengals offense can score a lot of points with all the offensive explosive playmakers. I will say that Flacco did get banged up a little bit towards the end of the game. He did come back, but just again, you don't want to bet on the Bengals if Jake Browning is the quarterback. So I don't know, maybe if this line is kind of taking into consideration, maybe it isn't Joe Flacco. So that's just something that I would just practice some hesitance about. But besides that, yeah, I like the Bengals here at home.
Yeah, besides the over in the Detroit game, I think the Bengals money line are my two favorite bets of the games we've done so far. All right, let's talk about the Hard Rock Bet Sports app because that is the sponsor of our show, and it's Monday. Week 8 closes out tonight with Washington versus Kansas City, and of course, at Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub, they've got all the stats and the streaks and the live odds to bet them. And Terry McLaurin right now, 53 plus receiving yards in 7 straight October games. If you want to bet on his over, it's 47.5. And you can do that at Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub and at Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. So if you haven't already, bet your first bet of $5. If you win, you get 150 in bonus bets plus your winnings. And tonight on Hard Rock, you get the Monday Night Parlay boost for the game. Boost your parlay so it pays extra winnings. And there's new promos every single day. So no matter when you're listening, some promo's going to pop up. So make sure you download the Hard Rock Bet app right now and use their $5 bet for, again, 150 in bonus bets plus the winnings. That's the way to go. Hard Rock Bet, the sponsor of our shows this year on Betting Pros. Next up here, Denver and Houston. So Denver right now plus 1.5 is the best line you're getting. It's kind of choose your own adventure here. You're getting plus 1.5 on Houston and some other books. So nobody knows what to do with this one. Over 39.5, under 40.5. Minus 104 for Denver is the best number you're going to find, but you get even money for Houston at home. I will lean on Denver on this one. I know CJ Stroud coming off a big game there. It was fun to have the rookie wide receivers getting some work there. You saw Jaden Higgins get a touchdown. You saw Jalen Noel working. That's great. Are they going to use them when Nico comes back? That's the big question. So that offensive line's still not great. I know Denver took some injuries too on the defensive side. So where do you want to go here on this one? Do you see any early value or any strong feelings you have? Because Vegas is basically telling you this is as tight as it gets.
I think for me, I like probably the Houston side, right? I think that their defense is better than the Denver Broncos defense is, especially if they're dealing with some injuries. Surtain got banged up against the Dallas Cowboys. I think that he being a factor plays significantly into if you're trying to handicap this right again, one of the best defensive players in the NFL. And Houston's at home, and Houston's defense is not just number one in terms of scoring defense this season, but it's historically good in terms of allowing points. So we've seen this a lot where one week a quarterback plays the Dallas Cowboys, looks like Tom Brady. The next week they play somebody that's significantly better and they don't look anything like they did the week before.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple, I think, really good matches for Bo Nix the last 2 weeks. He faced the Giants, shredded them in the fourth quarter. Last week, shredded the Dallas Cowboys. On the road against Houston, who has basically locked down every offense that they have faced. I mean, the 49ers looked way out of sorts against this defense. Seattle, a couple weeks ago, they couldn't move the ball effectively on Houston, and they turned the ball over a bunch of times. It was only because the Texans offense couldn't score that they ended up winning that game. So I actually like the Texans here. I also like the under in the game too, but I want to make sure that Surtain plays because he obviously is a major factor.
Yeah, the Surtain injury is certainly a huge factor in this game. We'll see how that goes, but I get what you're saying. This one is tough for me for sure too. Do you like any shades on the under here at 40.5, or does that not?
Again, if Surtain plays, like that's kind of what I want to know. Also with Nico Collins, like sometimes we see concussions where it's your back the next week, and then sometimes we see them linger where they missed a couple weeks. So again, that was one of my best bets this past week was the Texans 49ers game going under the total, which it did by I think a half a point or 1.5 points. And part of that was, well, the Texans don't have their most explosive playmaker on offense in Nico Collins. So I think that he matters significantly when you're looking at the total for this contest.
All right, next up here on the list of games, we have the New York Giants, who will be without Cam Scatterboo for the rest of the year, which sucks. I feel like we are all without Cam Scatterboo the rest of the year. It's fun. Fantasy football is fun. Betting on football is fun. It's more fun when Cam Scatterboo is playing. But he's not. So now we have the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe they get Brock Purdy back this week. Who knows? I mean, it just keeps going and going. It's crazy here. -2.5 here for San Francisco on the road. +3 on the Giants side. 46.5 for the over. 47.5 for the under. -145 is the best line for the San Francisco money line, and +135 for the Giants. I'll take the 2.5 with the 49ers here on this one too. There's too many injuries here for the Giants. No Neighbors, no Scattaboo. I just think finding offense is going to be hard, even at home. Like Jackson Dart, still fun, still can make plays with his legs, but at the end of the day, I think the 49ers, whoever's under center, is going to be able to handle the Giants. Your thoughts?
This game might be a stay away for me. I don't know who's left on either of these teams. The Giants are losing offensive player every single week, and the 49ers defense, Joe, they might need to call up your football team because they have nobody left.
Like we play defense.
Everybody
defense wins championships.
Is injured on their defense.
D equals W's. This is what I always say. You play defense, you're going to win football games. Create turnovers. That's what you do, right? But yeah, they definitely need some more help. There's no doubt about that. It's unfortunate. So you think this is a trap? You think the Giants can just come out here with a +135 victory, maybe? Sneak one out?
Especially because they're at home, and Jackson Dart has been much better of a quarterback at home than he's been on the road. And when you have a mobile quarterback, it just takes that one big play that he can make with his legs, and he calls his own number, and he makes a fantastic play. Again, it's hard for me to confidently bet on the 49ers when I don't know who's playing half of the game. I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know who's playing on defense. So it's hard for me, to just slay the points of the 49ers on the road when I don't know who's actually going to be taking the field. So I don't think this line's going to move too dramatically. So this will be one that I do a little bit more of a deeper dive in the primer this week. And then you guys can read about it on Friday.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers at home again. Underdogs again. How'd that work out for you and Terrell this week, Andrew? I'm trying to remember.
Prevented me from going 5-0, so not great.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Look, Steelers are just not that great. I hate to break it to people. Like, I know they're 4-3, but they're not that great. The Colts, on the other hand, I think are very good. -3 on the road, +3.5 for Pittsburgh. 49.5 for the over, 49.5 for the under, -155 on the money line for the Indianapolis Colts, +141 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I get it. Tomlin is an underdog. At home, blah, 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 off a bye, off of this, whatever. I don't want to hear it. The Indianapolis Colts, I think, are just a superior football team on both sides of the football, too. I mean, defensively, the collapse of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, Aaron Rodgers, no matter what Chris Collinsworth wants to tell you, is not mobile in the pocket. I don't care what he wants to tell you. Like, he does not move that well. I think the Colts are going to be prepared. I think this is a big test for them going on the road, and I think they're going to be ready for it. I like the Colts with the 3 here. I'm very confident in this, maybe more confident than I should be. But the season that Jonathan Taylor's having, the way they control the tempo of the game, the way that run game is clicking right now, the offensive line is playing great. Lou Anarumo's doing a good job on defense here. I know it's easy to look good against the Titans, but they've looked good against everybody. They looked good against the Chargers a couple weeks ago. And I think the Chargers are a better football team than the Steelers. Hot take. So what do you think about this one? Am I crazy with my confidence, or should I be looking once again for Mike Tomlin as the underdog?
Well, the thing with Mike Tomlin as an underdog, and again, I have to pull up like the exact stats, but part of that trend and why it's so successful is because Mike Tomlin is known for having good defenses, which is not the case whatsoever in this season.
Well, he doesn't have a good defense, but he sure does have an expensive one. Just putting that out there. It's an expensive defense.
I would say, like, relatively speaking, Aaron Rodgers, how he's played this year collectively, he's held up his end of the bargain when it comes to the Steelers quarterback play, what he's doing versus what they've seen and what they've gotten out of the quarterback play over the last couple seasons in the post-Ben Roethlisberger era. So I don't think Rodgers is like the major problem for the Steelers. I think it's their defense. Like, they can't stop anybody on the ground or through the air. They're playing all this man coverage and doesn't do anything. So I will go with the Colts here because Shane Steichen as a favorite, he was balling out successfully as a favorite before Daniel Jones got there, and all they're doing is just steamrolling team after team every single week. So are the Steelers the team that's going to be the one that bites back? I don't think so. Nothing I've seen from the Steelers defense suggests that they're going to be able to slow down Jonathan Taylor and this Colts high-flying offense. So I guess maybe the only thing is it's in Pittsburgh on the road. Make sure there's no weather intercations here.
Okay, that's fair.
That's something to keep in mind. It is a dome team playing on the road in November. Again, I don't have any early weather reports, but that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, but I mean, but they're a team that moves the football and runs. Like, they can run the football.
But still a dome team, though. And Daniel Jones is a dome quarterback. So that's something that I think is something to keep in mind, especially when you're betting early on some of these games. It doesn't hurt to just give a quick check to the weather report because we are going to get more weather implications with weather, with rain, with cold as we get into the November, December types of months.
All right. Next up here again, I'm taking the 3. I'm telling you right now. By the way, Steelers have the highest paid defense in the league. $179 million of their salaries go into defense. Didn't look like a good spend last night. Let's go to Los Angeles here, 5-3, taking on the Tennessee Titans, 1-7. This is a game the Chargers can roll here. They have extra rest. The Titans are terrible. I'm actually surprised it's only -8. I would jump on this one right now. Plus 10.5 on Tennessee side. I would jump on this -8 now. I don't understand this line at all. 42.5 for the over, 43.5 for the under. And of course, the upset plus 452, which I don't think any of us are looking at. So I think the Chargers roll here. I think they've got something in Gadsden. McConkey's come back around to life. Vidal looks sharp. Titans are terrible. This is easy for me. I don't think 8 is enough. This should be a double-digit game. What do you think?
I am always weary of laying the points with the team double digits on the road, even as the Tennessee Titans. I actually like the under the most in this game. I don't have the exact trend pulled up, but it'll be part of the BettingPros primer this week. But when the Chargers under Harbaugh have played on the East Coast, those games have heavily skewed towards the under. So although the Chargers should win this game, I don't think we're going to see them have an offensive juggernaut performance, especially after Thursday night where the Chargers can't be stopped. Like their offense is unstoppable. That doesn't always carry over. So I would say that this is probably more of an underplay for me than laying double-digit points on the road. So that's just me.
Okay, fair enough there. I will be comfortable with this, so I'm good. Lock in the 8. Let's go. Next up here, the Atlanta Falcons, 3-4. We'll see if Penix is back. Gotta say, well, again, just super disappointing in that one. Getting on our New England Patriots, who are now 6-2. They should be 7-1, but whatever. We're here, still there, ready to go. They are -4.5 at home, plus 5.5 on the Atlanta side. Right now as they travel on the road to New England. 44.5 for the over, 45.5 for the under, plus 215 on the money line for an upset here for the Falcons. So look, Drake May's playing really good football. Defense is playing well. I know the Falcons defensive unit is good. I know they just came off a weird ass kicking, and sometimes those become dangerous games. But I don't know, man. I think New England's feeling it. The crowd yesterday is starting to come back a little bit. It's starting to feel like the Patriots of old, and that's a dangerous thing right now for the Atlanta Falcons. 4.5. It's a little bit more than I want it to be, but I think I'm still on the side of the Pats here. What do you think?
I like the Patriots here. The Falcons, their defense is kind of banged up, and we've kind of seen them regress over the last couple of weeks because of some of these key injuries. So, yeah, I like the Patriots. Drake May's playing at an unreal elite level right now. He's making plays left and right. They finally got Trayvon Henderson going a little bit last week.
Yeah.
That's a positive sign for his development as an explosive rookie. Just adds another element to this team. But, I mean, everyone that Drake May is throwing the ball to, just guys are stepping up left and right. Matt Collins is out there making plays, and he is more of an ancillary piece to this offense. But Keisha Moody's catches another touchdown. Stephon Diggs finally scores. And even in a down game for Ramondre, like Drake May is able to pick up the slack and win the game through the air against, I mean, Myles Garrett. Just, I feel so bad for that guy. Like, that guy is an absolute one-man wrecking machine, and he's never going to, like, I mean, he has more playoff wins than TJ Watt. But besides that, like,
That's
not
fun.
many accolades for him in the win-loss column. So maybe he can go to a contender. But although he did get paid by the Browns, so
Look, there's a lot of quarterbacks that fold when Myles Garrett sacks them 5 times in a game, but Drake May did not. And I think that's another thing to put the feather in another cap there for him. So, all right, we're both confident there with that one. Jacksonville Raiders for the next one. So both these teams coming off a bye, so no real advantage there. -3 for Jacksonville, plus 3.5 for Vegas, 43.5 for the over, 44.5 for the under, plus 152 for Vegas on the money line. Talk to me, Andrew, about Vegas Jacksonville.
this feels like one of these 4-range outcome games because I totally get,
sure
all right,
does,
well,
doesn't
the Jaguars should be better than the Raiders, but the Raiders are at home, so let's just give the Jaguars a field goal, right? Like,
and do the Raiders get a healthy Brock Bowers back? And like, what does that look like? Because we really haven't seen that this year. Like, there's so many outcomes. I'm with you. This is a stay away too.
Yeah, especially because we should see different things from both teams coming off of their bye week. Doing things differently. Liam Cohen trying to shake things up in the offense. Do we get more Travis Hunter on the offensive side of the ball? Brian Thomas Jr., is he 100% healthy? And like you said, getting Brock Bowers back matters so significantly. He is the Raiders' best player besides Ashton Genty. So if he is back in the fold, that makes a difference. So if I would pick anything right now, it would probably be Raiders plus 3.5. Like that's probably the line that I would take. But like you said, we kind of talked at the beginning, it's probably a game that I'm probably going to shy away from unless I see some trend I really like later in the week.
Saints and Rams up next. I still don't understand why the Saints took Spencer Rattler out of that game. Like I don't know. Is it just time to look at Tyler Shuck this early in the season or halfway through? I don't feel like it is. Spencer Rattler's been okay, not great, but he's been good enough. I think that game would have been a little closer if he played the whole time. But whatever. I'm not the head coach. Maybe we'll see Shuck. If we do, I might be more comfortable with this line. But the Rams coming off a bye, they are going to be minus 12.5 favorites in this game. You're finding plus 14 for New Orleans, which is a huge number. But again, a lot of this is based on who's playing QB. Monday, we don't know that. We can guess if they go back to Rattler or Shuck. I don't know if Andrew has a feeling about that. 44 is the over, 44.5 the under, plus 770 for an upset, which I don't think any of us think is going to happen. So the question is not Rams victory. Question is by how much?
I'm going to probably fade the sides here. I think I'd probably just bet the over on the game. You got two dome teams that can score points. And the Saints, yeah, they're not great, but they're not afraid to just drop back to throw the ball 50 times. So that kind of scares me from like a backdoor cover with the Rams. Rams traditionally haven't been that great covering these large spreads at home. Usually they're a much better value to bet on the road because usually you're getting a better value on some of the spreads. So Kellen Moore, he's still a good head coach in terms of offensive play design. So I think that they can at least score enough points to keep the Rams involved enough to keep their pedal to the metal. And I like the over in this game.
I like the team total for the Rams in this game. That's my approach. I'm going to stay away from all that. Just have the Rams go out there and just score some points. That's what they got to do. Probably the marquee matchup here is, you like that? All right. Since the marquee matchup we've got here coming up, Buffalo Bills at home, 5-2, bouncing back after the bye. So they had 2 losses, then the bye, and then a big W yesterday against Carolina. Kansas City, we'll see what they do tonight. They are 1-point favorites, though, on the road against the Buffalo Bills, plus 1.5. 51.5 for the over, 51.5 for the under. You're getting even money on the under there. Minus 120 for KC, plus 110. I got to tell you, I think Kansas City is a more complete football team right now. I want to see if they come out of this game healthy and unscathed. I think it's great that James Cook was working as much as he was. But look, I mean, it's not that we all know the Buffalo Bills can beat the Chiefs, but I still have significant concerns about the defense, especially with Ed Oliver being hurt now too. He has a biceps injury, so they just got him back and now they lost him again. That's a huge loss there for the Buffalo Bills. So I'll take the Chiefs in this one, just keeping it simple.
I'll take whoever the underdog is because that's what the trends are going to back up. The value is always on who the market is undervaluing the most. And that's also how you get the fattest payout. So that will be my approach. You also have the Bills. So right now the Bills are the underdogs, but they are at home and they have rest advantage. So that's enough for me to take Buffalo in a game that, again, like you said, we know either team can win this game. And from an entertainment standpoint, I would bet the over. Right. That's how you enjoy these types of games. It's Mahomes versus Josh Allen. The Chiefs offense looks like it's back, and we'll see that continue probably against the Washington Commanders. And Buffalo comes out of their bye week, puts up a 40 burger after they went through a 2-week stint of scoring under 30 points when usually more often than not, they're always putting up 30 plus points. So Bills at home has been the home to overs. So I think that's probably my best bet is just, hey, don't sweat the sides. Just watch these 2 MVP quarterbacks go head to head, score 60 points total. And that's how you enjoy this game.
Look, on BP right now, you're getting one without the hook on Kansas City. So I want that now. I want that now if you can get it. Because once that hook comes in, I like it even less. That would just go right to the money line after that. But this is why I use the BettingPros app. So if you haven't already, download the BettingPros app, use the tools, find the best lines, find the consensus there. Prop bet cheat sheet, betting systems, tracking, all that stuff is out there for you guys. So use all the tools at BettingPros. Don't forget to download the app today. All right, Seattle coming off a bye. They'll take on the Washington Commanders. We'll see if Jaden Daniels is back for this game or not. -3 for Seattle, plus 3.5 for Washington. Over 45.5 on Sunday Night Football, under 46.5, and they're getting plus 160 on the money line. Do you see any early value in this contest, Andrew?
I think I would just take Seattle -3. This isn't on any intel about Jaden Daniels' availability. This is just my intel about last year was the Commanders' special season, right? Everything kind of seemed to go in their favor. And this year seems like the total opposite, where everything is going in the wrong direction. They're not winning close games. Their quarterback is constantly banged up. The receivers are banged up. And I mean, if we're talking about who's having a special season, it's the Seattle Seahawks, right? Coming off a bye week, one of the best defenses in the NFL. JSN has been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, both in fantasy and in real life. So yeah, they're on the road, but you know where Mike McDonald has lost one game in his head coaching career as the Seahawks? On the road. He's lost one time on the road. So I love Seattle here, and whether Daniels plays or not, I don't care. And I think at this line, if we get more news about Daniels maybe not playing, you're going to see this line jump in favor of the Seattle Seahawks, move up to, I think it'd be close to like 5.5 points if it's Marcus Mariota again as the starter. So yeah, take Seattle right on. This would be my lock of the best early look ahead line value you could get is on Seattle.
I like where your head's at. I think Seattle's a good football team. I think Darnold's played well. And I think that defense is better than people gave it credit for last year. Last one here, Monday Night Football. And here we go. Arizona at Dallas. Arizona coming off their bye week, +3 for them. We'll see if Kyler Murray plays, -2.5 for Dallas. 53.5 is the over. I'll take the over, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate you stopping by. 54.5 is the under. +139 on the upset line here for the Arizona Cardinals. Look, I mean, there's no fix for what ails the Dallas Cowboys as far as I'm concerned. And it's the defense. And Dak Prescott's playing great. And he's got everybody healthy and rocking and rolling offensively. But if you can't stop anybody, it's no good. And the other thing, too, is look for the team total here for Dallas. They are scoring over 30 points a game at home. So if you're getting any value there, again, team total right there. I don't care if Arizona's coming off a bye. I don't care. Your thoughts on this last contest on Monday night for week 9?
They just can't make the Dallas Cowboy game totals any higher, can they? That's just,
nope.
You can't.
Not for me. Not yet. We'll see. Maybe it gets there. Maybe.
I'm really curious to see if we get Kyler Murray playing for the Cardinals as the starting quarterback, whether he's healthy or not, whether he's actually healthy or not, and how they decide. Because I feel better about Arizona if Jacoby Brissett is actually the starting quarterback, both on terms of putting the game total over the 54.5 points, because I think the offense just operates better with Jacoby Brissett. So I think that it is going to be Kyler, and for that reason, I will take laying the points with Dallas at home. Dak Prescott still, again, tough matchup last week against Denver. I still think he's going to rebound here in a big way at home. I will take the Cowboys.
All right, so that's week 9 in a little bit of a snapshot for you with the early values. Make sure you place those bets over at Hard Rock Bet, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel here at Betting Pros. Again, ring the bell till it goes ding, so you never miss a piece of content here on BP. And of course, quick reminder too, download the Betting Pros app. Bet smarter, not harder. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.